Hello and welcome back to 1874. It's the start of the week and I'm here to do a very special show with AVFC Statto as we look back on the key stats that define Aston Villa's 24-25 season. In hindsight, we probably should have done this a little bit sooner after the season ended, but it'll be interesting to go back and look at the best stats from the season or worst stats that Dale's come up with, aka AVFC Statto. This show is sponsored by Match Bingo, and if you head to 1874.io/Match Bingo, you'll be able to download the app and be able to have a little bit of fun with all the live football that's coming up, including England, the internationals, and of course the World Club Cup that nobody really knows what it's going to be about. Statto, it's been a while. How are you?
It has, yeah. It has. When was the last show that we did? It's the end of last season, right?
I can't remember, but it's been too long. I've not been organised. I've wanted to get you on sooner. I want to get you on next season, but this is a good start because I've got you on now, and we're gonna go through those stats. First off, I mean, you'll have probably thousands of stats, I'm imagining, from the season that you've come up with. You've picked the best. Well, no, I keep saying best. It's not best, is it? You've picked the 11 most interesting stats from Villa's 24-25 season. How much did you have to sift through to narrow it down to 11?
So these were the 11 that I was going to post on Twitter or X after the season finished, but we are doing this show, so I didn't post them. So
I've killed you, haven't I?
No.
Killed your social media strategy.
No, I'll post them after. So if people don't listen to this, then they can still get them. But yeah, these are some of the more relevant stats, I think, for this season. There's some good ones in there. Obviously, some bad ones, like Villa's season, I guess, a bit up, a bit down.
Yeah, some interesting ones. Let's get started then. So stat one, since 2017-2018, only one player in Europe's top 5 leagues has created 60-plus chances, completed 200-plus progressive passes, completed 20-plus through balls, and won 55 tackles in a single season. That player is Tielemans this season for Aston Villa. Now, is that stat not just a Villa stat? Is that a like Premier League wide stat or European wide stat? Because there's some incredible numbers.
So that is every player in Europe's top 5 leagues. So that is Premier League, La Liga, Serie A, Bundesliga,
Portugal, no, France,
Ligue 1, and that's since 2017, 2018. So there's been no seasons for all players who have played since 2017-18 in those leagues to hit those numbers.
I mean, I've realised now I asked what the kind of scope of that, and it does actually say, and I actually read that it says top 5 leagues. So absolutely great reading and retention of knowledge from me. Who was do you know who the last player was?
So the player closest to this. So overall stats are right there: 60-plus chances, 200-plus progressive passes, 20-plus through balls, and 55 tackles. If you take 50 tackles instead of 55, it's Bruno Fernandes this season from Man United.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow. They're big numbers. That feels absolutely huge. Those numbers just tell you. I mean, we all know Tielemans had an unbelievable season, and Villa fans will talk till the cows come home about how good he was this season. One of the best midfielders in the Premier League, and probably people from other teams or fans of other teams probably would say, "Yeah, okay, fine," but wouldn't really massively take it on board. But you can't argue with the numbers, and those numbers are absolutely incredible. Plus, if you actually watch him with the eye test as well and see how involved he is in games, when you put both those things together, it just tells you the level that guy has performed at this season, week in, week out as well, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, just think of all the world-class players that have played in Europe's Big 5 leagues since 2017. I never hit those numbers that Yuri has hit this season. However, I will say, full disclosure, I have picked out Yuri's best 5 numbers, like best 5 stats this season to work this stat, but
it still works.
Yeah.
So there is best 5 stats for the season, or metrics. I don't know what you'd call it, but they're the best 5 things he's done this season.
They're the ones he's in the top 10 for in most stats this season. Yeah, so chances created, through balls, tackles won, and progressing the ball at the field.
I mean, really, that shows that you're a complete midfielder because you're doing the dirty work and also the kind of passing side, the creative side of being a midfielder. It's almost throwback stats in terms of what a central midfielder offers there, because as a number 6 now, you're doing a bit of everything, which isn't what central midfielders have always done in the kind of recent past.
Yeah. He's and he's covered multiple positions, right? So he played when Kamara wasn't playing. He played as a 10, he played as an 8. So yeah, all rounder, Tielemans.
They are fantastic numbers. Well done, Yuri Tielemans, and well done, AVFC Statto, for digging out that stat. Let's move on to number 2 then, and it's Morgan Rogers, fresh from playing for England last night, where there's a lovely... I haven't actually watched the game yet, but there was a lovely little compilation of something that he did at one point during the game, taking players on down that right-hand side. The guy can't get away from the right-hand side at the moment. Morgan Rogers is just one of 4 English players under the age of 23 to earn 10-plus goals and 10-plus assists in all competitions this season. Morgan Rogers, Cole Palmer, Bukayo Saka and Jude Bellingham are the players that have done that. I mean, it's good company, isn't it? It's nice company to be in. And I don't know where you stood with Rogers at the start of the season, but I thought he'd have a really strong season because pre-season he was so good. You know, he kind of put it with the players he's put himself amongst there with those numbers. As I say, he's great company to be in.
It is great company to be in. He also has the most goal contributions of those 4 players that you said. But a full disclosure, he's played double the minutes that Bukayo Saka has in competitions.
Yeah, you'd expect that.
Yeah, but he did show sort of glimpses in his first half of season when he joined in January that there was a player in there, and then I think this season he has kicked on. We need to get him off the right hand side quick, I think, and also consistency for Rogers. I think there's parts in the game where he's blistering, and then there's parts where you don't know he's on the pitch. A lot of the time. So, consistency next season. I think Morgan Rogers is going to smash those numbers out of the park if he plays more central.
Yeah, not many people would have predicted at the start of the season him to be keeping the company of Cole Palmer and Saka and Bellingham. Really. I mean, Bellingham had a phenomenal first year at Real Madrid. His numbers probably weren't as strong this time round, and Cole Palmer faded a little bit towards the end of the season, and Saka, like you say, missed so much football due to injury. But he's still... Yeah, I would wager he's played around the same amount of... You said he played a lot more games than some of those people, because Palmer didn't play in Europe, did he, for the kind of first stages? He wasn't used in Europe at all. But still, it's great company, like I keep saying.
Yeah, I mean, he's played the same amount of games and minutes, more or less, as Jude Bellingham, and he's got the same number of goal contributions as Jude Bellingham, so that's 27 each. He's played like just under 1,000 minutes more than Cole Palmer and 2,000 minutes more than Bukayo Saka. So impressive still. But
27 goal contributions. I've got to say, I didn't realise he'd contributed that many. I wouldn't have. If I'd have had to have guessed, I'd have probably said around the 20 mark. I wouldn't have gone for the nearer 30. I wouldn't have thought that. So what's the split there in goals and assists in all competitions?
14 goals, 13 assists.
They're good. They are really strong numbers.
Exactly the same as Jude Bellingham. 14 goals, 13 assists. Cole Palmer with 15 goals, 11 assists, and Bukayo Saka 12 goals, 13 assists.
Yeah, I don't know what Diaby's numbers were the season before, but I'd wager that they were better. But I'm not putting you on the spot to expect you to know that off the top of the head. I know you are the Statto, but I wouldn't expect you to know that off the top of my head. But he kind of stepped into Diaby's role in some respects, didn't he? And Diaby had good numbers for Villa in his only full season with the club, but those numbers from Rogers are fantastic.
I mean, Morgan Rogers has saved us this year. We lost Diaby's numbers, Douglas Luiz's numbers, and Morgan Rogers is the only sort of player to step up, really.
Was he Villa's top overall, or was it still Watkins got 35, I want to say? Was it Watkins' top still?
Yeah, Watkins is top still. I do have my naughty site open, FB Ref open, which I get most of my stats from, and it's just gone down during the show. So my plan of being able to look up stats on the fly has gone begging. But
let's not worry about that. We've got the 11 stats that we need right here. Let's move on to stat number 3 then. Aston Villa won 31 games this season in all competitions. That equals their most wins in a single season whilst playing in the top flight in the club's entire history. The last time they did that was 31 again in 1976-77. So, you said earlier, that season almost felt a bit up and down, a little bit bitty, but because of that run of form towards the end of the season, it makes it one of Villa's strongest seasons ever.
It does, yeah. It's weird though, isn't it? Because last season, the season before this one, seemed more impressive than this one. But last season we won 29 games. This season we won 31. So obviously 2 more. We played 1 game more this season than last season. The most wins in a top flight season in history for Villa. We've had more wins in 2 seasons, but they were in Division 3 and Division 2. So 1971. Yeah, 1971, 72 with 35 wins in Division 3. And 1974 to 75 in Division 2 under Ron Saunders, who won 33 games and won more than this season. But yeah, this season, impressive, probably due to the FA Cup run that we had, more wins. I checked earlier. We had exactly the same wins in the Champions League this season as we did in the Europa Conference League.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But that's still impressive because obviously it's a harder competition. The Champions League, you're playing against better teams. I'm fascinated by that stat, actually. Because like you say, you do think of the season before as being stronger because obviously we achieved the objective of finishing fourth. We got in the Champions League this year. We just fell short, as we know. But to have actually won more games, that just shows you how really, really unfortunate we were. It wouldn't have taken a lot for us to have achieved our goals, but it felt like I think Jacob keeps saying we won 6 out of our first 21 league games. The run we went on in 2025 is like, that's incredible form.
Incredible form, especially at home. Like, home's ridiculous. We'll come on to that a little bit later, I think. But yeah, our home record under Emery is insane.
Well, you say we'll come on to it a little bit later. We're going to come on to it right this second because since March the 11th, 2024, Aston Villa have lost just one Premier League game, the least amount of any club in the competition. We all know how good the home form is. We sit there and watch it every single week, and Villa Park does feel like a fortress. And you come away from games at Villa Park when you've drawn now, and you're actually disappointed because Emery has turned it into an absolute fortress and a place that just teams don't want to go at all to play.
As I said before, impressive at home. Since March 2024, we've played 24 times. We've only won 13 though, drawn 10, lost 1. The one loss was to Arsenal, the first home game of this season. Probably a few too many draws in there, you'd think. It's still impressive though, but we've only lost once at home in 453 days.
Yeah.
Still fairly impressive. Next on the list would be Liverpool, Chelsea, and then Arsenal. So Liverpool, Chelsea lost twice. Arsenal lost 3 times. Burnley and Luton have lost twice, but they won in the league for this season. They were there from last season.
Technically, at the moment, the best team at home in the Premier League.
Not points wise, but number of losses wise. Yeah.
Well, I'll take that. We'll dress it up the way we want to suit my agenda.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. If you look at points wise, since that date, we're 5th. Chelsea are top with 60 points. Chelsea have won 18 of the 26 in that time. Pretty impressive.
The fact that you've only lost the one, though, that makes it seem more like a fortress than everywhere else. Other teams have come and breached it, whereas, obviously the draws probably are disappointing and you'd rather win more, but that shows me when you're playing badly, you're still taking something at home. Because there'll be games where we play badly in that run, but we're still taking something from the game. There was a 2-2 draw against someone, Palace. I thought we were awful that day, but we still managed to get a point out of it. Villa Park is a fortress. Long may it continue, and let's hope it continues next season. This one is a good one, number 5. Aston Villa created 114 big chances in the Premier League this season, with only Chelsea 120 and Liverpool 150 creating more in the competition. Now, there's going to be people that watch this channel and they know who they are. They're going to now point at, we've had 114 big chances. The centre forward's got to be culpable here, and he will be to an extent, along with some other players. I'm sure it doesn't just fall down to the centre forward. He's not missed 114 big chances himself. But it does show you, when you factor in Tielemans' numbers at the top there, we are creating the chances and doing enough to probably win more games than we actually have, even though we've won a lot.
Yeah, I mean, insert the Ollie Watkins hate right here.
No, it's coming, isn't it? He'll be there. He hasn't missed 114 big chances.
He has missed the most in the Premier League, though. That is a stat.
Yeah, but not 114, though. Come on.
That's true. Yeah. Something like, I think I don't have the number in front of me. I think it's like 26, though, something like that. I think so. It's it's a lot, but it's not. Whatever. We love Ollie Watkins on this channel, I believe.
But if he's only missed 26, the other players are missing a high volume of chance as well. There's 114 big chances.
Oh yeah, the next 2 on the list are Haaland and Salah. So you have to be in the position to miss them, I guess. But so Morgan Rogers and Tielemans tied this season with the most big chances created for Villa in the Premier League with 16 apiece. Luka Dean with 15.
That actually doesn't surprise me. That might surprise some people. That doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah. Do you want a quiz question?
Oh, yes, please.
There you go. Since 2010, 2011, only 2 players have created more big chances for Aston Villa in a single Premier League season than Tielemans, Morgan Rogers, and Luka Dean this season. Can you name who they are?
Premier League only or Championship?
Premier League only.
Well, one's got to be Grealish.
Nope.
It's not.
He created loads of chances, but not big ones. People are going to be like, oh, what's a big chance?
Oh, I'm going to throw a curveball in there just because he took a lot of free kicks and corners. Conor Harahan one.
Nope.
No, I've got a stinker there, haven't I?
Do you want the season?
Yeah, go on, give me the seasons.
They're both from 2010, 2011.
Oh, Ashley Young.
Ashley Young with 18, and you're missing
Downing?
the winner, Downing. Downing
Yeah.
was the most with 19, 2010, 2011. So Rodgers and Tielemans were 3 off. I was tracking Tielemans to be the breaker of this stat, but he missed the last 3 games, didn't he?
Would he have done it probably if he'd have played the last 3 games, wouldn't he?
He would have been, he would have got the most, I reckon.
Disappointing.
Yeah, it was one I've been tracking all season. Tielemans and such chances created, and then the injury just annoyed me in the end. But it's what it is.
Disappointed in my own performance there. I got two recency bias came in. I didn't go back far enough. I would have been convinced that Grealish created big chances there the most. I would have been convinced by that. Most people would have gone for that first, I think.
Grealish's best season for big chances was 14 in 2020, 2021. He created 9 in the season we come up.
I would have gone for that COVID season, the full season that was COVID. That would have been the one I would have thought he'd have got the numbers when Watkins' first season. That would have been the one I would have gone for, but alas, I was wrong. Number 6, Aston Villa did not score a single own goal in the Premier League in 24-25. It's the first season they have not scored an own goal in the competition since 2008-2009. That didn't come across my radar as something that happened this season, but yeah, 0 own goals. Is that an unusual stat for a team not to score a single own goal in a season, do you think?
It is for Villa.
Well, for Villa, yes.
I mean, the last 2 seasons, 2002-3, 2003-4, we scored 4 own goals each season. And like you said, in the above, we haven't not scored an own goal since 2008, 2009. So, yeah, it's it's rare to not score one.
Mm.
We haven't scored one.
I'm trying to think who the last Villa player would be to score an own goal then from the season before. I'm assuming we did score an own goal in that season.
4, yeah.
4. I can't even think of a single own goal in that season. Concede, Martinez.
Martinez 2.
I'm thinking of Luton at home when Concede headed it back over him, but then did he hit the bar and hit Martinez and go in?
That's one of them.
Did he get given an own goal for Liverpool?
He did.
That's an own goal.
Yeah.
That's 2.
Matty Cash versus Liverpool in the away fixture that season.
That is not coming to my mind at all. I'm not doubting you. I'm sure it's true, but that is not in my mind at all.
And Alex Moreno against Newcastle at Villa Park in January 2024.
Vaguely remember that. The Cash one I don't remember at all. Especially considering how open we were in defence at times. Maybe that just shows that no defenders were on the scene when they should have been, so that's why we didn't score any own goals.
That's probably the reason why, yeah.
Especially in the first half of the season. We could have done with some own goals, couldn't we, in that first half of the season? We could have done with that. That's really good. Yeah, that's fascinating. Number 7, Aston Villa received 4 red cards during the 24-25 Premier League season. Only in 2014-15 have Aston Villa ever received more red cards than this season, where they've received 7. That season we went down 2014-15.
No, 15-16.
7?
7.
In all competitions, is that?
No, Premier League.
That's just Premier League?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to name any of them, I don't know. Benteke.
Against Spurs.
In Spurs with Ryan Mason.
Yeah. Kieran Richardson against West Brom. Gabby against Man United.
That was a farce.
Fabian Delph against Sunderland. Kieran Clark against Leicester. Ron Vlaar against Stoke. And Carlos Sanchez against Spurs.
And also Jack Grealish got sent off in the FA Cup against West Brom, if my memory serves me correctly.
Correct.
Wasn't that
the last second of the game, though? So
yeah, it's a silly one. It was a silly one. Let me try and remember the 4 from this season then. 4 red. John Duran at Newcastle.
Yeah, I was there for that. That's the only away game I went to this season.
Emi Martinez, obviously, on the last day.
Yes.
Philogene, Fulham away.
Correct. In October.
This next one's going to be a struggle. I don't know whether I'm going to get the next one. Is it an obvious one? Is it something I should get easily?
It was in May, so it's pretty recent.
It was in May. Oh, Ramsey.
Ramsey against
Jacob
Bournemouth.
Ramsey.
Yeah.
There we go.
Ramsey against Bournemouth.
I can't believe we got 7 red cards in the season in 2014-15. That's a dirty Paul Lambert, Tim Sherwood side.
Yep. Well, yeah, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 under Paul Lambert, 2 under Tim Sherwood that season.
Okay.
But yeah, 4 this season.
All right, stat number 8. We've got Aston Villa conceded 16 goals from the 75th minute onwards in the Premier League this season, with only Southampton conceding more in that time frame. That's not good, is it? To concede the second most in the league past the 75th minute. That's a bit of a tale of the season, well, especially the kind of first 2/3 of the season anyway, isn't it?
2 big problems this season, I think.
The one's coming up next, isn't it?
this stat and the one next.
The one next is horrifying.
Yeah. Like you said, 16 goals into the final 15 minutes of games in the Premier League this season. Only 4 of those were at home, so 12 were away from home, and no other team in the Premier League conceded more than 9 away from home in the final 15 minutes. So Villa were far and away the worst team in that regard. Pretty weak away from home in the last 15 minutes.
That is a horrifying stat. 16 goals from the 75th minute onwards in the Premier League. And if you thought that one was haunting, until you hear number 9, this is the one everyone would have been waiting for as well. I've seen lots of various numbers around this through the season, but never anything massively concrete. This is the most concrete I've seen it in black and white. This is a really, really bad one from Villa. Villa, hang your heads in shame. Yeah. Aston Villa have conceded from their opponent's first shot on target in 22 matches this season, as well as from the rebound in 3 games where the first attempt was saved. So in 25 games this season, basically the opponent's first meaningful action in front of goal has gone in. Is that all competition?
Yeah.
And we played, how many games did we play?
It was about half of the games we played. The first shot.
Why do we do this to ourselves? That must be unprecedented. I don't expect you to have the stats for every other team that's ever existed, but that must be like no one else is capable of a stat like that than Aston Villa Football Club.
Yeah, so I was going to look. So at the end of the season, I have this stat at the end of the season. I was going to look at the other teams and sort of how they compared. I got to Liverpool. I thought Liverpool because they won the league and I was going to go down. And I think they were 7. So
that's quite high, I think.
That's quite high. And I stopped looking. I was like, I can't be bothered to do this. But yeah, it's a problem all season, to be honest. They got to a stage in the season where it happened like 6 games in a row.
Yeah, I remember that stage.
And it felt like every shot we conceded went in. It was horrible. However, really good for engagement on social media.
Yeah, but it is. I mean, that is the main thing. Forget Villa doing well. Engagement on social media is the main thing. The game I remember absolutely losing it was when it happened at Brighton at home just after Christmas. Yeah. I don't often stand up off my seat and berate players and berate a team, but I absolutely lost it when we did that against Brighton because it just felt like it was every single game. I think the Newcastle game on Boxing Day had been just before and we'd done it.
Yeah.
And then that Brighton game, I just completely lost any form of composure at all. Probably in my life, the second most I've ever lost my composure at a game. And the first time was the first one that would be first was alcohol and Steven Gerrard fueled. This was stone cold sober, just absolutely had enough of conceding the first shot.
Yeah, I mean, it got to the point where I was tweeting it every single time. And then after I tweet it, I'd copy and paste it into my drafts and then just change the number and then post it the next game. And I'd do it every single game.
My God.
It was shocking.
That's horrendous, isn't it? That's the worst one on here by a mile.
There was some that were like really good goals. Like Anthony Gordon's goal for Newcastle was really good.
You close him down though, Statto. You've got to close him down.
I agree, but there was some that were just like, there's a curse here going
basic.
on.
I think, the bottom 3 teams were absolutely pathetic this season by and large, and there'll be some awful stats around them. But I actually think that must be the worst stat across the entirety of the Premier League that anyone's got. That's awful. Now, this next one's something that always annoys me as well. And people will know if they watch every show I do that this annoys me generally. Yep. Number 10, I don't know whether you put this in just because it annoys me as well. I'm not sure, but here we go. Number 10, Aston Villa only scored 4 goals this season in the Premier League from one of their defenders. Only Ipswich had less defenders contribute to goals this campaign with 3. Villa centre-backs don't want to know. Concede was good this season in front of goal, to give him his credit. Did he get 3 goals this season in all competitions, I think? Is he 3 of the 4? This is Premier League.
This is Premier League, so he's 2.
Let me try and name these. There's a Concede against Wolves.
Yeah.
Concede against Spurs.
Correct.
Cash against Brentford.
Yeah.
Maatson against Newcastle.
Boom. There you go. You got it. Yeah. All of them were at Villa Park.
In a centre, maybe we don't take corners in this way anymore, and teams generally don't take goals from corners. Take corners the way that they used to, looking for the big centre back and looking for the first contact, and that being a goal. I think probably set pieces have evolved over the years. But Villa centre backs don't want to know in front of goal.
I mean, last season we scored 8.
Did we?
So we doubled. So we got half this season.
Yeah, I remember Moreno scoring a few goals last season. He went through a bit of a purple patch away from home. Brentford, he scored away as well. Yeah. My main grievance, though, is centre backs.
Yeah.
Centre-backs don't want to know in front of goal for Villa. Tyrone Mings is massive. He's one of my favourite Villa players ever. The guy can't hit a barn door. He never scores.
No, that's true. He hasn't scored enough seasons
Powell
anyway.
kind of scored this. Powell didn't score this season. Diego Carlos was quite a big bloke.
Terrible.
He never used to want to know in front of goal. Disasi was a brick guitar, so he came in. He didn't score. Not that he played loads of games, but you catch my drift. Like Villa have all these big centre-backs. I'm trying to think of centre-backs generally that score a lot of goals. There probably isn't many. No one's leaping out at me. As
Harry Maguire scores a few.
Harry Maguire's decent in front of goal. Van Dijk, I can remember scoring a couple this season. But, from headers, from corners, I just want to see centre-backs get on the end of things and score some goals. A lot Martin Larsson used to.
Fabian Schär does that against Villa all the time.
Yeah, he loves a goal against Villa, doesn't he? But Larsson scored 6 in one season, didn't he, in 2007, 2008? Just call me DB Statto with that kind of knowledge off the cuff.
Yeah.
But since then, centre-backs have it's not really been a thing, centre-back scoring for goals for Villa.
It's not good. The people were moaning about, Villa's lack of goals this season, but it's the spread of goals that we're not doing. So, we're losing. So we lost Diaby and Luiz, and we're not replacing those goals. I mean, Watkins is a bit shorter than last season, but it's not miles off from last season. There's just no one else chipping in apart from Rodgers, really. I mean, Duran got 7, and then he left in January. And then I think Tielemans is next, and then McGinn. But
he only scored 1 Premier League goal from memory as well.
Yeah. So it's the spread of goals around the team that's not great at the moment.
Yeah, that needs to be rectified next season for sure. Let's do our last. I feel like we should have finished with one of those 2 ones because they're the 2 horrifying ones for me. The ones that we've just done. We'll end on I guess this is a positive start. Number 11, Aston Villa have scored 20 plus left-footed goals in back-to-back Premier League games this season for the first time. That obviously I said for the first time, so that is an unusual stat, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean we scored 20 once before in the Premier League season in 96, 97, and none of those were Savo.
Really?
Yeah.
So are we saying here that 20 games in a row or 20 goals in a row?
No, 20. No. So across the season, 20 goals have been scored with the player's left foot.
Okay, it's the back-to-back back-to-back Premier League seasons. What can't I read today? It's a really key component when you're doing a show like this to be able to read.
Yeah. So last season 25, this season 20.
Okay. Do you got at least someone try and name the players who've scored the left-footed goals? How many is there?
I will say, we've got a lot of left-footed players now.
We have.
Yeah. 9 players have scored left-footed goals this season in 20. Yeah. Duran's the most with 5. Yeah. In the Premier League, this is, by the way.
Yeah. Maatsen, who I mentioned before.
Maatsen 1. Yeah.
McGinn, who I mentioned before.
Nope.
What?
No.
What do you mean no? Oh, he scored with his right foot. Is it just Premier League, isn't it?
It's correct.
Okay, take that out.
Yeah.
So Watkins must have scored one with his left foot.
4.
Yeah. Rodgers must have scored one with his left foot.
3.
It's Man City goal with his left foot. I feel like it was.
It was, yeah.
How many have I got left?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Kamara. Was Kamara with his left foot?
No.
Was he not?
No. Maybe it was with his left foot and I haven't got it in yet.
I feel like it was.
Maybe it's 21.
Yeah, I feel like Kamara scored with his left foot.
It definitely was because he cut across that box.
Have that Satter. I had completely forgotten. By jibing you, I've completely forgotten who the next one was, and I had it on the tip of my tongue. Bailey
got 1, yeah.
Turning into a bit of a struggle here. 4.
1 loan signing from Spain.
Oh, Asensio, come on, Daniel.
He got 3, yeah.
That's basics. I should have got that.
Yeah, and then there's
Ramsey, yeah,
Ramsey. 1. Yeah, and then the other 2 are Belgian midfielders.
Oh, Tielemans and Anana both got with their left foot.
Correct. Anana, the one we slid in against
Leicester.
Yes.
Oh, that's cheap. That's cheap from you. That's really, really cheap from you.
I mean, it's a left-footed goal.
I can't be expected to remember that was left-footed.
And then Yuri Tielemans against someone. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Either can
I.
No, it's gone from my mind as well. Well, it doesn't matter. He did it.
Liverpool in February.
Yes. I get confused because the left-footed cross. He went for a phase of left-footed crosses.
Yeah.
We've been in great crosses. Okay. Yeah. That does us.
I have 2 quick bonus ones because I know we were sort of not slagging off Ollie Watkins earlier on.
We definitely were. We're bona fide members of the Ollie Watkins fan club.
But people will. So here is my rebuttal to those people. Only 8 players have 70 plus goal involvements in the last 2 seasons in all competitions. in Europe's top 5 leagues: Harry Kane, Kylian Mbappe, Mo Salah, Lewandowski, Haaland, Rafinha, Gurasi from Dortmund, Gurasi, and Oliver Watkins.
There we go.
And then only 7 players have 15 plus goals and 10 plus assists in the last 2 seasons: Wirtz, Salah, Pulisic, Palmer, Fernandes, Kane, and Watkins.
I'd suggest we're not going to sign any of those other players, so we should probably keep Ollie Watkins, shouldn't we?
I would say so. Unless you've got a spare 150 million to drop on Wirtz.
And yeah, he's going to have to choose us over Liverpool, which I'm assuming he wouldn't do. Yeah,
that's true. Yeah. But yeah, so put that in your pipe and smoke it, Ollie Watkins haters.
Have that Kari in the chat. I know you'll be on there in the comments somewhere. I do. I'm not. He knows I'm only messing around. It's funny that you kind of get to know people who I've no idea who he is, but because he's in the chat every week and on the in the YouTube comments, I know how he feels about Ollie Watkins. So I feel the need to defend Watkins against you. But please continue to watch Kari. I don't want you to stop watching just because I've said that. As Statto said earlier on in the show, engagement and numbers is absolutely everything. Forget how Aston Villa are doing. Well, Dan, I really enjoyed that. And I didn't enjoy Stat 9 and Stat 10. I particularly didn't enjoy Stat 9. But other than that, I really enjoyed it. And I thank you for compiling those stats and saving them for this show. And now, when this has come out, you can feel free to tweet them all, of course, with a link to this show as well.
I'll press send on all my drafts that are sitting on my X account right now.
Get them ready to go. I'll let you know when this comes out, and then you can press X, and your X will blow up. I guess
I won't post them until the show comes out, Dan. You can have the exclusives.
That's the main thing. This guy knows. I say all the time that your social media is the best on Villa social media. So where can people find you who don't know who you are? I don't think there'll be many people who don't know who you are now. But where can people find you?
So I'm initially on every social platform, but I'm trying to grow my Instagram. That's my goal for this season. So it's AVFC _Statto on Instagram. Don't follow me anywhere else. Just follow me there.
Well, you would like them to follow you on X as well. You've got a lot of followers on X. A lot of people enjoy your work on X, especially like pre-game and post-game stuff that you come out with. So yeah, do follow AVFC Statto on all social platforms, because it is, in my opinion, the best and most valuable Aston Villa resource on social media. And I will get you on next season again. I had a bit of an off year. We've not been organised and not sorting things out very well, but I'm back on it now. So we'll get you on the channel again next year. Yeah. That's an exclusive.
More than happy to do so. Yeah.
Let's do that. Let us know in the comments what you liked about the stats that you just saw, what you didn't like about the stats that you just saw and heard as well. Please go back and watch the content from the last week or so. Insert your cheer or boo here. I did a podcast with Matt Law about Jack Grealish potentially returning to Villa and how realistic that is. So go back and listen or watch that. I can't remember off the top of my head anything else that I've done this week, but I know that there's been plenty of content on the channel. So whether it be via YouTube or via Spotify or Apple, if you could please go and check out the content from the rest of the week if you haven't done so already, that would be absolutely stupendous. If you're watching this and you're not subscribed, I keep saying it, amazing how many people watch who aren't subscribed. Please press that button now so that you know first when the new content is coming on the channel. Got plenty more content coming through the week, so keep your eye on our socials as well, and you'll see when things are released. And all that's left to say is have a great week, and as always, up the Villa. Up the Villa, Dale.
Up the Villa, Dan.